my favorite event of the year, the Royal Rumble.
The question on everybody's mind is who is going to win the Royal Rumble match?
A match where you go through hell, but the reward is a chance at immortality.
The Ring Crew is back. The Royal Rumble 2020 will be January 26th at Minute Maid Park in Houston, Texas. I am Ira, and along with our crew, we're going to break it down, see who gets eliminated first, who gets eliminated last, who's going to win what. We'll find out. Over to my left, Larry, take it away.
What's going on, everyone? Larry Moorman here, More365 on social media, and of course from Talking More Wrestling, the Better Half podcast, the Retro Gamers podcast, almost any podcast that's out there, I'm trying to get on. And just real quick, I'm going to mention right now, folks, I'm going to do a little plug of my own. April 5, WrestleMania. I'm going to have a live Talking More Wrestling podcast on my Facebook page. I'm having a big WrestleMania party in Brooklyn. I'm going to be live, most likely. I might be drunk, but I'm going to be doing it. It's going to be a great time. And I'm telling you right now, everyone in this room, even though it's in Brooklyn, you're all invited. I'm telling you right now. So, big time.
And over to his left, the long arm of the law, Sean
It is
Law.
I, Sean Law. I do things.
He talks on podcasts.
Sometimes, I don't know.
And to his left is my partner from Circling the Drain, Mr. Sean Radford.
Hey, what's up, party people? I do things too, except I do it a lot louder and a lot more crazy-like, because this is just how I do it. Yes, I am Sean from Circling the Drain, and we are talking about one of my favorite days of the year. Aside from my birthday and Halloween, it is Royal Rumble, and this is what we're doing. And now I'm going to push it over to the left to Steve.
Hello, everybody, and I can't use the I Do Things intro because it's been used twice in a row, so there goes all of my material for that. Yeah, Royal Rumble is one of the best pay-per-views of the year, and I can't believe we're already into WrestleMania season. I feel like WrestleMania 35 was just like a few days ago, and SmackDown was still on USA, and everything was just normal. It's been a very weird year for WWE, so let's figure out what's going on now as we continue. It's been a very weird year.
Well, we're going to break down every part of that weird year, but like you said, we are in the home stretch right now. We're starting WrestleMania season, and let's see. As of last night, SmackDown was on the air. They've added a few more matches, so let's talk about what's probably going to end up being the pre-show undercard match. Very quickly, they've added Shorty G versus Sheamus. My question is, why? But I'm sure that we can answer that question.
Why? I think just to get Sheamus back. He's finally returned from injury, get him back on pay-per-view, throw him onto the pre-show. Shorty G, just giving the man some work. But it's weird because I feel like Sheamus sometimes is relegated to the pre-show on some of these big events, but then somehow, irks his way onto the main card anyway. He's done it before at WrestleMania, him and Daniel Bryan.
Yeah. No, Sheamus is getting this because he has a strong social media game, and they haven't given him anything. And so, people, this is actually a popular guy who people know. Why aren't we should put him in? Who do we got? You fight. Let him kick you. Okay.
Well, Sheamus has been injured for a good amount of the last year and a half, to the point where he almost was going to retire. This is actually a good feud. Shorty G got a little bit of shine in the King of the Ring tournament. Then they kind of gave him the name Shorty G, and the internet just had the biggest backlash known to mankind. I think it's fine. It gives Gable some personality. This could be a very good pre-show match. It's a little bit of a rushed feud, but I think we have something good here, and it's something a little bit different to the card.
I'm also going to say that, anything's possible in the Rumble. So just because Sheamus is, the curtain jerker with Shorty G, which is the worst wrestling name, probably top 10 worst wrestling names of all time.
Gotta be.
But
Some man
anyway, I wouldn't be surprised if we see Sheamus as one of the 30 entrances in the Royal Rumble.
That's exactly what I was thinking, is you're taking, I understand the David versus Goliath aspect that they're trying to play on this, and they have been playing with everybody versus Shorty G, but still, Sheamus is more valuable, I think, as a big man in the Royal Rumble. I would have rather seen a really good match like part 3 of Buddy Murphy versus Aleister Black.
Thank
I
you.
think that has been so well done that we should keep that going, but they wanted to go with it, then go with it.
No, that's the whole thing. As well as I hate the David and Goliath thing with Shorty G, it's really demeaning to somebody who is an American Alpha, an incredibly dominant tag team. Every single time you see the guy, he whips ass. He's incredible. And then you're going to go, and then you have things like Buddy Murphy and Aleister Black that are show-stealing performances. Sheamus, he's good. I've never really found him to ever steal a show. And then you're going to go ahead and just be like, you who were demeaning, you who's not that great, just, go.
Well, if you also look at it, the other way, again, I hate the name Shorty G, but I'm going to give him a little credit right now. This guy has got a lot of talent, and the whole David and Goliath thing was the way that they pushed Daniel Bryan into the forefront of where he became. When he first started out and he got after, Tough Enough and all that BS and bad manners, they stuck him up against Big Show, Mark Henry, Sheamus, like any big dude they possibly could to watch him overcome everyone. And, it just pushed him to, the forefront and making him one of the bigger people ever that I'm sure we'll get into later. Because he didn't show up in the Royal Rumble a few times in a row, the crowd booed the crap out of the winner, which was just the way it went. However, I kind of feel like they do have a lot of faith in Shorty G, and they want to push him to be a better topper line competitor. However, I really feel that they need to change his name. Anyway, that's just how I feel about that one.
I think this is more of just kind of getting Sheamus back into programming. Get him back onto pay-per-view. Don't just thrust him into like the main event status, because probably people assuming that was going to happen. He was injured. If you want to look at it from a shoot, all right, you've been off TV, so you got to work your way back up to the top. So, and this is very Vince McMahon. You get that Vince McMahon big guy, Sheamus, who's going to squash a little guy who happens to be Shorty G. There's no like typical 80s jobbers anymore. Unfortunately, a guy like Shorty G, who shouldn't be, is the quote-unquote kind of jobber. You feed him to these bigger guys.
Yeah.
But Shorty G also became a little bit of a product of, he was amazing with American Alpha, but then he kept putting him in tag teams that really weren't working. But for a pre-show...
Well, wait, he was champion with Robert Roode. And
No, he
almost with Shelton Benjamin. They didn't win.
Just because you're a champion doesn't necessarily mean it's still a good work, though.
Yeah.
I got to admit. What I was gonna say was kind of, this is a good show because, again, the pre-show is a bit of a warm-up. It gets the crowd ready to go. And let's face it, it's all on the network. It's still a 6-hour event if you put like the hour of matches on the pre-show and the Rumble. So for another conversation for another time, is there technically a pre-show anymore since it's all on the network anyway? Just food for thought. But in any event, I think it's still going to be a good match.
That's true. Let's go around the room real quick because I don't want to bring this up later on. Winner of the bout, Larry.
Sheamus.
Sheamus.
Shorty G.
Oh,
Sheamus.
Sheamus, he ain't losing his return match.
I agree with that, only
And
because it is his return match.
But I will say, if Sheamus does lose, he's definitely showing up in the Rumble.
I think either way.
Yeah, well, depends. I mean, a few years ago when we had the TLC match between oh God damn it!
No, I don't think he wrestled.
Yeah,
anymore.
no, God wasn't
he did.
there.
He had the one match.
He wasn't.
one
match.
But no, the one between Owens and Dean Ambrose. Both of them showed up in the Rumble afterwards, and they were both still limping and hobbling because they put each other through tables and chairs. So it is possible they may both show up. Who knows?
True.
And I just realized you have Cesaro on SmackDown. Sheamus and Cesaro had a really good tag team, and we're kind of ignoring this now. And it's kind of annoying because that tag team could be a valuable asset in that division.
And that, just real quick, their tag team is a perfect example of what you thought was going to be a terrible idea, and it ended up really being successful.
Well, let's see.
When it was happening.
While it was happening. Let's see. The next match on the card that is not a championship match is Roman Reigns, the big dog, against King Corbin. Now, we've all seen they've done exactly what WWE does, which is they've taken Corbin, they've aligned him with Dolph Ziggler, they've aligned him with now the returning Robert Roode. So they have the King's Court just humiliating Roman Reigns, and like we were talking about earlier, they like the good versus evil, David versus Goliath. They're telling a story that's been told
1,000 times over.
Exactly, pretty much. But this time, I would have liked to have seen it for the crown, by the way.
That'd be interesting, yeah.
They're not doing that. Okay, who's got something to say on this match?
They've already had a couple matches already, Corbin and Reigns, and shockingly, Corbin has won some of them, which is good, because I was really worried that we go into this and Reigns just keeps winning match after match after match. So at least they've kind of split it. And I'm a fan of gimmick matches. This is Falls Count Anywhere, which for their storyline, I think finally makes sense because now they've kind of worked up to it. I'm looking forward to this. I'm not a big Roman fan, not because he was put, not because it's cool to hate Roman. Just I wasn't a fan. He wasn't my favorite in the Shield. But that's a lie. He was my favorite in the Shield, so I'm going to take that back. But for the and I love Corbin. I think King Corbin. I don't care what anybody says, is probably the best heel going today.
I just wrote that down.
You're out of your goddamn mind.
Absolutely. In the WWE.
In the WWE.
Best heel going today, because you know why? Because he goes out there and people, the boos that he gets from, and he's supposed to be booed. He's not supposed to be cheered. The reaction he gets, it's all about reactions a lot of times. I love how the crowd hates him.
Just
and they
very
should.
quickly.
Yes.
If you saw him on backstage, where he mentioned, he goes, if people hit me up on comments like, I hate that you're wearing that suit, well, then you just bought another month to be wearing that suit.
Exactly.
He knows what he's doing.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
Are you aware MJF exists?
I said in WWE.
I still have to say it because I'm so upset. I'm so mad.
His performance is so good at AEW that it transcends over to WWE.
MJF is in the Rumble.
He should be.
I will say this: Reigns has done a pretty good job in this feud. Being a very sympathetic babyface. I'm glad that finally it looks like the last few weeks they've gone away from the dog food element of this feud, which was
no pun intended.
Oh
no, really, I didn't even.
Which was kind of making it very gimmicky. I think this will be the blow-off match of this feud.
Yes,
and once that happens, hopefully Corbin himself can move to something of an equal level or something that could be WrestleMania worthy, because he definitely deserves a spot like he had last year.
I just always find Baron Corbin to usually be a dearth of entertainment, specifically in matches. He has the same thing that The Miz used to have, which is, all right, he rocked the mic, that was okay. Time for the match. I guess I'll go take a piss, because...
And one thing that was actually also mentioned, I think, on that backstage interview, which is Corbin was during that King of the Ring tournament, was having some really good matches and was starting to get a little bit of a positive reaction from social media. And I think he might have taken that as, oh no, what happens if I start becoming a good wrestler? And so he kind of dialed it back a little bit, worked on the gimmick a little bit more. And he's had some subpar matches, good heat though, and this is going to be a very good match at the Rumble.
I just have one more question, and it has nothing to do with Corbin now. We all know the history of Roman Reigns. They pushed him too hard, too fast. Everyone turned on him. Mm-hmm. Of course, he goes out. We wish, and he made a speedy recovery. Thank God. Mm-hmm. Human over everything. Sean Radford.
Yes.
I actually want to know.
Yes.
Are they starting to push him again, and are they going to make the same mistake? If you push him too fast, is it going to turn? All the goodwill built up, is it going to turn on him?
No, I kind of feel that at this position now, they need somebody to uphold what John Cena had. And that he is the perfect position for it. I mean, he can go in the ring when he goes against other people that are equally better, equal to him or even better. Or even worse, he makes them look good. And he knows what to do and how to do it, and he's gotten better over time. And it's cool to hate him, and all the dudes are going to boo him, and all the chicks are going to scream for him, and the kids are going to love him, and he's just the modern-day long-haired Samoan Cena. And that's it,
You actually took the word, except for long-haired Samoan Cena, you took the words right out of my mouth as far as Roman kind of taking over that
right.
Cena,
Sure.
where a lot of, Cena, it was cool to boo Cena. It's going to be cool to boo Roman in the beginning of the match. But at the end of the match, Cena got cheered, Roman will get cheered. Right. Unless he wins later in the night. But, Sean, you hit it right on the head. I just think he's going to take over Cena's spot. If he starts rapping, though, we're in trouble.
Oh, God. I'm sorry.
No, I just think the first time the speed at which they pushed Roman broke the sound barrier.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And that was a lot that had to do with it. It went from, there's a guy in the shoot. He's seen it? What's happening?
Vince loves the big guy.
He does. Vince big guy.
But in terms of Reigns matches and matches recently, it's especially when you get to that, like, guys who they're pushing to an upper tier, it's just signature moves a lot of the time. Mm-hmm. I don't find them
you also
telling a story or doing character work.
You can kind of say that on the indies as well.
You also got to kind of realize...
Yeah, but they do sick flips.
We'll talk about that later.
It's over. Nah, just keep going.
Sorry.
It's fine. Keep going.
And something, it's over. And so's that segment. Okay, next match up on the card. We have, as of last night, for the SmackDown Women's Championship, it is the champion Bayley taking on the sassy Southern Belle, Lacey Evans.
I am a big Lacey Evans fan. I do like Evans. I'm a WWE guy. What do you want from me? No, I like.
Hey,
Lacey.
former Marine. Give the woman some
in all
respect.
honesty, for that, yes. My father, being military, of course. But beyond that, I love how she works her social media. I love how she interacts with the crowds. I like the gimmick. It is still wrestling, so you're going to have gimmicks. And she sometimes, I think she's like trying to learn her way still around the mic, but I feel she can flow with like the crowd and her interactions. But now they're trying to push the whole, she's a mother and all that. I think she's trying to get her daughter involved. I really think her daughter's going to fight Sasha at WrestleMania. But,
please, come on.
What's his 12-year-old? John Cone's son is a former tag champion. So
and Omega did it.
That's true. Yeah. And he also fought a broom. But, I like Evans. I just like Lacey. In this match, who's going to win? I feel like it's kind of a toss-up because Bayley's really hitting it as a heel and as a heel champion. So
I actually think Lacey's done very well as a face, which is shocking because the one good thing about her coming off of the NXT roster is because she got heat and people disliked her. Like, everybody disliked her. And now, even though, yes, they're pushing the Marine daughter angle a lot, I think this has been a very good role. She's actually working better in the ring as a face, and she just wrestled and beat Bayley last night. I hate when they do that, have the match and then have the match again on the pay-per-view. But this is going to be a very good match, and I wouldn't be surprised if this goes another 2 months.
Okay, I need to just go over because you said you're a big fan of Lacey Evans. Do you not find Lacey Evans in terms of a character jarring and weird? Because she's a mother, she's a Marine. Also, during her entrance, it's like, look at her butt. Nah, but look at her butt, though.
But that was as a heel.
No, but respect her as a mom. Yeah, it's...
But no, since they started pushing the whole mother thing, she hasn't been as much doing that.
Yeah.
Like, she gets in the ring, whatever, but she's also supposed to dress like a pinup, and that's kind of the gimmicky part. But... Again, with her as a face, they're starting to come away from that.
But the other thing is, Bayley has never been sexualized as a character, face or heel. Mm-hmm. And that's what I love about that character is it's about the fighting. That's what I love about a lot of the female wrestlers I like is there's often zero sexuality to it. To me, the best wrestler in the WWE, character-wise or anything, and the best heel is Shayna fucking Baszler.
I agree.
The best heel because she makes me believe it's a fight and she kicks ass.
That's true.
And we'll get to that in a minute. But thank God, somebody finally brought up the champion. We've been discussing Lacey, and it seems that since Bayley has gone heel, she has become an afterthought. They push things, she pushes Sasha to fight her battles. She goes in, it's squash matches, it's, interference, and she's still the champion. And as a heel, I think that was really her time to shine.
Yeah.
And I don't think she's gone up another level at all.
Well, the problem with that is you can't continuously feud with the horsewomen all of the time, and you need to find people to be of Bayley's level. Bayley has done some next level work over the last year, but when they redid the rosters after the draft, the only person of Bayley's level over the past few years is Sasha, and I don't think Sasha or Bayley want to turn back right now. They're having too much. Asuka is on Raw right now, so that doesn't work out. I think they just want that team wants to be a heel and they want to make new stars. And to make new stars, you have to push the faces who are facing her.
But yeah, I don't know. I tend to look at the WWE roster, all 200, as just one conglomerate thing. Because Lord knows if they really want to, it wouldn't be that hard to just go NXT, SmackDown. Okay, oh, he's here now.
I want to go back a little bit, Ira, to what you were saying about like Bayley having Sasha fight her battles and doing a squash match. To me, that is a heel champion. Because if you're a heel and you want to hold on to the title, you're going to do whatever you can, which I don't mind. I don't mind like if she's going to win by DQ as a heel. So I in that aspect, when Bayley turned, I like it. I was a little worried when Sasha came back because I thought Sasha was going to overshadow Bayley. But in this match, I don't know. Like, I want Evans to win the title, but to me then, in my head, to jump a little bit forward, that just sets Evans to be a transitional champion for Sasha to win him back at Mania.
Yep.
In my head.
Yeah. There is one person on the roster who would be a great feud for Bayley at Mania, and she sucks in the ring, but the backstory would be great, and that's Carmella.
That's interesting.
That's different. Well, we'll see how that develops. Moving on, we're staying in the women's division, where we will have the man, Becky Lynch, defending her Raw Women's Championship against half of the Women's Tag Team Champions, Asuka.
It's going to be sick.
It's going to be a damn good match.
It's going to be sick.
And I've been obsessed with Asuka's YouTube page lately. So
yeah. So here's the thing: is Asuka's the best, and everyone else isn't, and so. But Becky is second best.
That is like the third grade equivalent of the like you're the best.
No,
and that's it.
No, that's it. And then Becky is second best. So this is gonna be good, and I'm happy. It's gonna be good.
So we got the best against the best to make
Yeah,
the
the
best
best
match of the best
and-
night
it's the-
ever.
it's the best.
It's going to be the best Rumble.
It's gonna be-
BEST best. No,
best.
I think it's actually going to be a really good match because both of them technically in the ring are sound and they will go toe-to-toe for however long time they give them, and it's going to be a fantastic time for all of us.
Asuka, as much as she's got the tag titles right now, and this singles run is really a result of Kyrie being injured, I think it's working out for the better because I don't know if this would have been planned the whole time or, again, they're just kind of giving Asuka something to do in the meantime. But Becky and Asuka, now at this point, we're talking, almost a year later after WrestleMania when Becky won the title. I think it's going to be a solid match, and I'm looking forward. I'm looking forward to this one. I feel Lynch is going to walk out as champion, but it's definitely going to put up a really good fight.
The storyline here is actually the best of any match that's being built up because of the fact that
Because it's the
Becky,
best.
Well, yes, because it's the best.
Ever.
Best, but
Nothing's ever
they're
going
building
to
a lot
bring
on the
down.
fact that Asuka has a very good track record against
Yes.
Becky, and they're really building up on the Royal Rumble 19 match, which really was, I think, the best match on that entire card. And this will steal the show again, but this will be in a better position on the
I
card.
forgot they fought each other last year.
Yes.
I knew Asuka was in the title match, but I forgot Becky was in the match. Oh, wow. A rematch. Okay.
That is how that worked. You know what's very interesting to me in terms of this match is because of Asuka's, we'll say, lack of promo ability because of the language
Because of
barrier.
her severe broken English? Yes.
That would
Vince-
be, I was dancing around it,
Yeah,
but
no,
yeah.
that's fine.
As Vince, I've seen
But
someone
it's
say,
still-
what is it? This makes money. This doesn't.
And for anybody who's on a podcast who can't see what you just did,
Oh, yeah, that's right. I'm so used to recording as well. Video. The other one.
talking makes money.
Yeah. Not talking
There you
doesn't.
go.
The way you speak makes you dollars. You shut the hell up,
I'm
you're
sorry.
going to be broke.
But again, they have been able to tell this story without so much as the back and forth promo. You got the green mist being sprayed in the
Yes.
face, which, by the way, finally, she sold it properly. We've all grown up. We saw Muda. We've seen other people. They've sprayed the green mist. Oh, my God, it's poison. And they can't see it. They're rumbling around. We've seen, like, Paige, who I love,
Right, sure.
get sprayed in the face and just go, oh, can I have a paper towel? This is not good. Becky actually sold it, which is great because when you have someone who is having trouble getting their language across, you still have to work that promo. You still have to get that in there. And I think they have done a marvelous job. It's going to be a great match. I think this could be the one that actually steals it.
Ooh, okay.
It could be. I hope they give them enough time to do this because we know 2 Royal Rumble matches take up a whole lot of time. There's only 5 other matches on the card. I hope they give them enough time.
Well, it's also the network, so they can run late too. I mean,
that is true.
If it
yeah.
pushes further, I mean, regular pay-per-view, it was like cutoff time, 11 o'clock. Sorry, shut the doors. Now, if the Rumble pushes to like 11:30, 11:45, we're still going to be right there watching it. Nothing's cutting down. Hey, they got your 10.
No, we need to have this rerun of Tough Enough exactly on time.
Shut it all down. We need the newest episode of the Stone Cold Steve Austin podcast to play at 11 p.m. on the dot.
We promised you a new episode of Ms. and Mrs., and we're not going to
Damn it,
turn our back.
We're
on
going
that.
no commercial edits in this episode of Ms. and Mrs. on the WWE Network. You even get to see a nip. Too bad it's from the Miz.
I'm in.
Suckers!
Dang it.
Yeah, that
You
guy's
had me.
Three
naked.
edits, smacked you in the face.
He's way too naked on that
Right,
show.
serious.
I'm
I
sorry.
don't know. I've actually never seen it.
Okay, now other matches that they discussed putting on, but they scrapped. They were talking about the Braun Strowman Shinsuke Nakamura match,
That's what I was looking forward to.
right?
Yeah, that actually sounded kind of cool.
Yeah.
And then, boom, no, we don't have enough time. I still think this may happen next week. They still may add it to the card because we've had Miz versus Kofi, and now we've had Morrison versus Big E.
Oh,
and
okay.
I'm sure next week will be Miz and Morrison versus New Day. And if they win, I hope they get a title shot. I love all 4 of those guys. I
Yes.
think
Possibility.
All I
That
want
could
is
be good.
Starship Pain. That's like the
you
best
got it
move.
last night.
I know. I was so
There we
happy.
go. But for the final singles match, we have Daniel Bryan versus, is it going to be The Fiend or Bray Wyatt for the Universal Championship?
Absolutely, it's going to be The Fiend. I don't know if they started working when they did it at TLC where Miz fought Bray Wyatt, and Bray came out with the regular, but it was a non-title match. So is just The Fiend the champion and Bray Wyatt's not? I think it would be cool if they worked that angle. But in any event, I'm looking forward to this match. 2 tremendous talents. The Fiend is just on fire right now with his matches.
And he may actually set himself on fire.
He might. He might. Bray Wyatt, the way he just does the Firefly Funhouse and he just metamorphosizes in front of you has been amazing to watch. And Daniel Bryan is Daniel Bryan. Nothing else. But with this, they added the gimmick, which I said earlier, I am a fan of gimmick matches, and this is one of my favorite gimmick matches that they haven't done in a while, a strap match. Good old-fashioned strap match.
And I've been a huge fan of recently of they didn't make Daniel Bryan look dumb like Seth Rollins.
Yes.
When he brought out Kane, and you saw that, right?
Yeah.
He's smart. He's a douche. It's great. He's like,
douche.
oh, this guy's an evil demon. I have one of those. There's a couple floating around back there. I'll go grab one of them. I can play this game too. He seems like a smart human fighting. Like Seth Rollins looks like a chump.
But I did like Seth Rollins.
Seth Rollins is a chump.
That's right. I forgot. Yeah, your least favorite of the Shield.
John?
I would actually, I will say I'm really looking forward to this match because going back to what we were saying a little earlier, this is again a rematch. This match happened in 2014. It was the opening match of the Royal Rumble, and it's actually my favorite Royal Rumble match of all time. Singles match.
Wow.
Like, they went toe-to-toe, back and forth, and just dogged the crap out of each other for a good 15 to about 17 minutes and opened that show like a freaking bull in a china shop. And now YouTube is playing it because we're talking about it so much. And, always remember, helpful hints on all the shows we do. Lock your phone before you put it back in your pocket because you may accidentally play porn.
Oh, Yeah.
I've done that too.
Quote unquote accidentally.
Oh, accidental. Hey, listen, when you're taking a whiz in a public restroom and all of a sudden you hear something popping, it's like, oh man, I forgot to hit the home screen on my Google search. Damn it. But yeah,
And
we all
back to you, Steve.
had a good.
So let's transition from porn back to this feud.
Same thing.
So they mentioned
Lots of skin, lots
pretty
of sweat,
much.
moving around.
Bray actually broke character on Twitter and referenced this match in particular, saying it was your time then, it's my time now. So that, again, that little backstory, Bray and Daniel are working that perfectly even on social media. However, I am not a fan of this for one reason and one reason only. I don't think the Fiend gimmick is going to lead to a tremendous strap match. I think the match that they had at Survivor Series was good. Bryan got about as much offense as he could possibly get in this character, but you're going to have to either give the Fiend even more vulnerability, which I don't know if you can do to a character like Bryan, or the Fiend is going to have to squash Bryan, and you're wasting a strap match on this match. I don't think that's going to happen, but I don't like the fact that we're adding a gimmick to this match. And also, please, for the love of God, no red light on Minute Maid Park. Let's finally do
you
a
don't like the
regular
red
match
light?
here.
I hate the red
Really?
light.
I love the red light.
It's kind of ruining it because now
Really?
the fans are kind of like, I can't see what's going on.
I saw the Fiend when SmackDown was in Brooklyn. The Fiend was a dark match, and they had him even in the dark match. They had the red light. I'm like, this is pretty cool. They did it. They tried it with Kane originally. I don't know.
Month, though, for like
No, I
one
know,
month.
yeah. But I don't know. I kind of got a kick, except during Hell in a Cell, because then the cell just disappeared because it was red.
Well,
So
they told you. I mean, the wrestlers have actually said, "Yeah, not a big fan of wrestling in the red light."
Yeah.
either."
Well, that was like back when
Sin
the
Cara?
last high fly- yeah, when Sin Cara first came up, and y'all had to wrestle in
Oh,
blue
yeah.
and yellow, and there would be actual times where you'd be watching, you know, before they'd cut to commercial, they would show the competitor that he was facing, going, "Can we turn these lights on? I can't see." And like, you know, then they quickly cut to camera, but it was just like, yeah, I could see the light totally screwing people up.
Yeah, it's.
Our retinas aren't trained for that type of stuff, guys.
No, I really don't like whenever they change the hues. It's nice once in a while to do an effect and do it maybe once or something during like, oh no, he's popping out of somewhere, or like the weird worm thing I think they did at one WrestleMania with the projection.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Yeah.
That
Like-
was a little weird, yeah.
That was weird, but that's fun. But normal lighting, please. I want to see what I'm watching.
You can argue that Hell in a Cell match has ruined, also the fact that he's a sucky face, has ruined Seth Rollins' run as any reliable marketing face of a brand. That
Oh, yeah, they
match,
killed
that
him.
whole feud.
Well, what I have to say about that is good. No, I don't.
It was the best.
I don't hate Seth Rollins. In ring, he's phenomenal. I just can't stand the sound of his voice, and I just want him to shut up. Yeah, exactly. So I think the only other way that it would get more ridiculous, but may make for like maybe one cool match, is instead of that red light, do the whole thing in strobe.
Ooh.
Let's throw like that.
Lord.
I mean,
The
just
whole
give
thing.
everyone
Make it-
seizures.
Yo, whatever,
There
man.
you go.
Sucks to be you then. Put a disclaimer. You may lose your shit before this pay-per-view's over.
The WWE presents Rave 2020.
That's what I'm saying. We don't even have to do it. Could you imagine clotheslines in slow motion?
A WWE Network special.
WWE presents this Sunday epilepsy. Wait, what? Oh my goodness! If you don't have it, you're going to get it.
Oh, man.
Because that's how that
one.
works.
Well, I don't know.
Hey, welcome to my world. You know? It's like a roller coaster. You start your arms up and scream and deal with it.
Okay, so let's go through those and pick winners. And I want you to tell me two things. One,
Yes.
who do you think will win, and who do you think should win?
Ah,
Because those
I like
are
it.
always
Yep.
two different things.
Yep.
Okay.
So we're going to start off with Roman Reigns and King Corbin.
Reigns should and will win. You're building Reigns up for more than this. This is the time.
Falls count anywhere? That's the match?
Yes.
Goodness. I'm going to say Roman's going to come real close, but Corbin's going to end up winning.
And wait, should he win though?
To be honest, I think it goes either way. I think if Reigns wins, it pushes him further into the middle of the road. Big Cena guy
What
that
we were
he
talking
is.
about
He's still
earlier.
knocking down bad guys. If Corbin wins, it makes him. Well, actually, I mean, if Corbin wins, yeah, he gets a bad guy win, but all the Reigns haters are gonna be like, "Yeah, Corbin, you're awesome, hail the king!" Like, so I don't know. No, I think Reigns should win and deserves to win. Screw that.
I think Asuka's going to win all the matches.
Wait,
She's the
wait,
best
wait,
anyway.
Everyone.
All of them.
Asuka's
the
winning
best.
the men's rumble. Asuka's
then-
winning the women's rumble. Asuka's going to win all the titles. She's just going to be the belt collector, and that's it. All the tag titles, everything.
Ooh, somebody should get that one. Belt collector.
Austin Aries already did it when he was in Impact.
Well, he lost the greatest thing he had.
No, but I'm going to give it over to Corbin. He's got a click. They'll probably get involved.
And should he be the winner?
Yeah, sure, because he's a heel.
He's not the best, but he's a heel.
I think that Reigns will and should win. Again, they've split. Roman and Baron have split wins, so that part's fine. And I think as a Falls Count Anywhere, hopefully it's their match just to blow off the feud. So let the face win, and I think the face should win.
Well, I actually think the opposite here. I think Corbin, who said his entourage is going to get involved? Yeah. I think you're right. I think that's how it's going to go down. I think Corbin will win and should win. And if they do this right, and they do an old school slow burn into WrestleMania, and they do it the right way, then this could end up being a really good story and not just, like you said, well, let's say this one won and the other one won, so now we'll just make it best of 3 and that's it.
Yeah, right.
I like it better with the slow burn.
Sure.
So,
I think the slow burn will be Roman Reigns uniting the entirety of his family to feud with Corbin.
every Samoan ever except Samoa. Okay, who's going to win the SmackDown Women's Championship? Is it Lacey Evans or is it Bayley?
I think Evans. Excuse me. I want Evans to win. I think Bayley's going to keep the title.
Okay.
Bayley.
Yeah, I'm going to say I want Bayley to win. 1, because I think she's really good, and 2, because I have no idea who Lacey Evans is.
I want Bayley to win because I think we need a SmackDown Women's Champion going into WrestleMania on the level of Becky Lynch on the Raw side.
Yeah, but you got 4 more Snickers pay-per-views before WrestleMania even
That's
hits,
all right.
so
They're
that
all
strap will change.
They don't even mean anything pretty
No,
much
yeah.
afterwards. I think Bayley will win also because Lacey got the win last night.
Okay.
And I'm waiting for epilepsy now because that's going to be.
That's what I'm saying, man. Wait for epilepsy to come. We'll see. We won't see because it'll be real
Snickers
slow motion.
presents
Anything
Epilepsy
possible, yeah.
2019.
In the EMS match.
I think Lacey Evans will probably take the win. I actually hope Bayley holds on to it because if Lacey wins, like somebody else said, it's going to be a placeholder.
Right.
It'll be until Sasha gets up there, and they will give it to her. Okay.
Or they'll just feed her to Charlotte and she'll take the strap back.
Yeah, which, by the way, a totally different topic. They need to give her something to do.
Yeah.
I mean, just being
Charlotte?
Yeah.
They gave her Andrade.
They gave. So now they're
something to
casting
do
outside.
on camera twice a week.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
All right.
Andrade.
Hopefully Andrade.
So Charlotte, you have nothing to do, but here's a guy.
What do you mean I haven't been busy? Have you paid your Pornhub subscription lately? Those are exclusive videos.
Okay. For Asuka versus
Call Woo
Becky
2000.
Lynch. Asuka versus Becky Lynch.
Remember, guys, there's a right and wrong answer to this one.
I'm going to slide over here.
Asuka and Becky Lynch. I'm going to say we all win because that match is going to be awesome.
Yay!
That's about it. I don't have a winner because I do enjoy both of them together, the same. So whoever wins is going to be great, and we all win because the match is going to, blow the doors off.
I kind of want, and I'm not saying this because there's a guy over here that's probably stalking Oscar currently at this very moment. I kind of want them to trade the belt. I think even Oscar winning at the Rumble and then Becky winning it at the next pay-per-view would be great.
Oscar 2 belts?
Oscar 2 belts, yes, just because that's the only English that she correctly says under the problem. I think Becky will win, obviously. I think they're building it up way too much for Becky not to win. It's like, this is the only person I've never beaten. So then she beats her. Pretty simple.
I think Becky should and will win. Asuka's, look, she's got the tag titles. Kairi's back from injury, so they're going to get them back into the tag title division. As me and Sean Law, we're going to have a whole battle about Indies versus WWE later anyway. But, I just think it's the match is going to be fantastic, but storyline-wise, I think you need Becky to get to Mania to be Raw champion for one full year.
And let's see now. Sean Law
has stepped out of the room.
I don't think you're. Yeah, we should all just move away.
A double DQ.
Yeah, Asuka.
But who do you think? I'm sorry, I'm taking
that's
over.
Exactly what I was going to say.
Who do you think will win?
Honestly, I think Asuka is just doing this because, like you said, Kairi's out. They don't know how long.
Mm-hmm.
I think they may want to.
No,
keep
she's back. Kairi's back. I think she just came back at a house
Then,
show.
in which case, it's definitely going to Becky.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's easily predictable that they want to keep the man persona going
Which is fine,
till WrestleMania, where, spoiler alert, I'm guessing it's going to be Shayna Baszler.
It's going to be so sick!
Imagine that.
Is that going to be better than Asuka versus Becky?
Yo, it might be.
It might be, honestly.
Because there's another best, and her name is Shayna Baszler.
That match will be the best, and then some.
That's going to headline
some.
Epilepsy 2020.
Exactly.
Man, if Shayna Baszler faced Asuka, I don't know what you would do in that situation.
That'd be a weird
Oh, it'd
one.
be so good, though.
He'd be in his refractory period when it was over. But I do think that while I would like to see Asuka win, I don't see that there's any way storytelling-wise that they can do that.
That's fine.
And still get Becky as the man at WrestleMania. So unless maybe Kairi comes
let's
in.
just finally let her beat Lesnar and call it day.
We're waiting for that. And speaking of getting to Lesnar, let's go to the Universal Championship. Daniel Bryan versus The Fiend.
Oh, word, Brian.
And is that the right call?
Yeah, because
wow.
Brian.
Okay. Ooh, you know what? Circle back around to me because I got to think about something because now maybe that's why it's a strap match.
Yeah, because they can do clever things.
No.
And
I'm sorry, I mean, to win a strap match, you don't have to pin your opponent. You just have to touch all four turnbuckles in succession, which means as long as the Fiend is all wrapped up, Brian doesn't have to pin him. This just dawned on me.
And Brian's known for being a wily, dodgy dude who can do weird moving things.
I got to think
he's quick as shit.
It's like ordering my dinner last night. I need the rest of the table to order first. So I got to think about this.
Fiend and Fiend.
Fiend and Fiend.
Yeah, no, I think Bray's retaining, and I think it's a good idea because the Firefly Funhouse is awesome, and we need to see more of that with the strap involved.
Well, I mean, can it be? It can't be a DQ, right?
No.
Okay, so Ramblin' Rabbit comes out with a strap and starts beating on the Fiend for putting him in the hospital every week.
I'm in.
But I think that Daniel Bryan. Oh, this is for the championship. See, that changes everything.
I also kind of feel that somehow shenanigans are going to ensue, and this story is going to progress. Maybe not to Mania, but definitely throughout the next couple of pay-per-views, I think.
If you make a $5,000 belt for a champion, I think you need to keep that $5,000 belt as long as possible.
Right.
So that helps.
That Eco-Friendly title didn't last too long, though.
No, it didn't.
No, it didn't. But again,
I mean, I have one now, but
I wonder how much that cost on Amazon.
well, it cost $550. Yeah, probably. It cost $5,000. The one I was almost going to buy, and I'm like, I can't afford $5,000.
Did you buy his actual belt off of him?
No, they sell ring quality belts now. And when I went to Access this year in Brooklyn, they sold out of the normal like $400 one, which I eventually got anyway. And they're like, this one, this is a rip for $5,000. And I'm like,
Oh, is that all?
Oh, wow. Okay, let's moving on. To
hold on. I didn't say
go
mine.
ahead.
Because I had to really think about this because the
that's
strap
right. I'm
match
sorry.
threw me off. I would love to see Bryan win because of the stipulation, but I think Fiend is going to hold on to the title because I think he'll eventually lose at WrestleMania to who I don't know yet.
Right.
But that's what because of the strap match, I want Bryan, but I think it's going to be Fiend.
Okay, well, moving on to the Rumble matches themselves. We're going to start with the Women's Rumble match, which right now it's Charlotte, Alexa Bliss, Nikki Cross, and Sarah Logan.
So there's about 15 minutes in between intervals.
Yeah. Wrestling with, I think this would be a good epilepsy match because there's plenty of time to kill.
Yeah. We'll make it topless. Nobody will even notice because of the flashing lights. Why not? Let's really sauce it up.
More men steps.
We have,
boy.
I think we have to send
in
this-
the women's match. What are you talking about? The refs are going to be shirtless. What are we doing here?
Somebody has to send this idea to Vince now.
Carmen Electra was the GM of a federation like that. I may or may not have had DVDs.
Goodness.
Okay. Now, I'm looking at the poster right now, and they have Bayley, who is already in the championship match. They have a picture of Mandy and Sonya. They have Asuka and Kyrie, so maybe she is well enough to appear in the
Hopefully.
match. Alexa, Sasha, Becky, Charlotte, and Lacey. So, but again, there's only 4.
Right.
We already know. I mean, we can guess, I should
Right.
say,
Trish
that
will probably
Shayna
show
Baszler is going to end up there.
I literally, as I was waiting in the parking lot, I tweeted Vince McMahon, as I do now on a weekly basis. As much as I love the WWE,
And he ignores you on a weekly
He
basis.
knows
does,
you just
absolutely.
like the other 10,000.
absolutely. But as
But
much
maybe he was scrolling up and he went, ha, ha, ha. And then just kept going, Give you a little light.
isn't he friends with the guy who used to work for me?
This son of a...
As much as I love WWE, sometimes, often I've not been agreeing with Vince, but so far they haven't had one peep about NXT being a part of the Rumble. Now, in the last couple of years, there would be a couple of surprises,
Right.
but they're not promoting it like they promoted NXT for Survivor Series. Because going into this, I kind of felt, I don't know who yet, but we're talking about the women's. Jumping ahead a little bit, I apologize. Let me ramble back to where I was heading. I got to believe they will have NXT superstars in this.
Dark Horse Xia Li takes it.
Who? I didn't hear what you said.
Oh, Xia Li.
Xia Li, yeah.
Yeah.
Listen, I'll take it. But Baszler, I think Baszler would be interesting, but do you have Baszler kind of win for NXT on 2 of their big pay-per-views in a row because she won the main event of Survivor Series?
Well, the one problem, I think, and I think one of the reasons why they're being so tight-lipped about it is if the WWE can't get Ronda Rousey under contract, which it looks like they're not going to, or they can't get Rousey to appear,
Absolutely
which it looks
fine.
like they're not going to. Shayna is so obvious of an option, especially considering how Survivor Series ended, where Shayna Baszler basically got demolished by Becky after Shayna beat Becky, that they kind of don't want to make it like, okay, Shayna's in the Rumble, everybody thinks Shayna is going to win. I think NXT might even take up a majority of the Rumble because if you just saw their little Battle Royal this week, they have so much women's talent that they can put in this Rumble and they can get a pop from people. There's only 2 legitimate options to win this Rumble, in my opinion. Shayna is one of them. And again, if Ronda ever comes back, she would be another, but I don't think there's any chance.
I don't think Ronda's ever coming back. I think she realized it was a terrible idea and she missed her window and all that jazz. But going back to the Rumble, I'm going to say that Charlotte is going to win the Rumble because, like you said just a few minutes ago, she hasn't had jack squat to do. So she's going to wind up winning the Rumble. She's going to get her title shot, and then she'll face somebody at Mania for the title. And I kind of do enjoy that they are not announcing every single person in the Royal Rumble because I hate that. In the past couple of years, when they go through and they're like, all these people are going to be involved. This person's this. Guess who's coming in number 1? Guess who's coming in number 82? We have lost the element of surprise, and slowly but surely they're taking it away from us completely, which, is just stupid, not the Rumble. But
just to comment on that, it's funny that you say that. I remember I've been going back and watching old Rumbles, and 88 and 89 Rumbles, you get Vince in the Royal Rumble and just announcing
and he gets
everybody.
tired of doing it after the first 12 people, and you can hear him huffing and puffing.
I kind of got a kick out of that.
Hysterical.
Okay, so the Women's Rumble has been great for the ones that have existed. And they've usually, both of them, they usually kind of stole the show to a certain extent, usually because it's fresher talent, it's hungrier talent, they have something to prove. And the Rumble's always my favorite gimmick match. It's always fun because it's the best WWE. You get a character, and they have to do something to get themselves over in a very short period of time. It's a series of rapid succession squash matches.
Yeah, that's true, yeah.
Going back to what Radford said, though, I agree. The surprise entrants it's part of it. Oh my God, you don't know. Some of the time they telegraph it. We'll get to that in the men's.
Sure, yeah.
There are a few. But how would you think about if they changed it up? Maybe they start having matches to get into the Royal Rumble, because now there are 3 legitimate brands. So if you were to pick the top, say, 8 of Raw, the top 8 of SmackDown, the top 8 of NXT, and the winners of those matches actually get to go to the Rumble.
Right.
Yeah.
So I think that would spice it up getting to the Rumble, and you would still have a couple of spaces left for surprises.
It's a good idea. Unfortunately, I think what kind of ruins it, for lack of a better term, is they do qualifiers for Money in the Bank.
Yeah.
But I do. It sounds like a cool idea. Now, I'm gonna kind of just for one moment, after a comment, I'll kind of get everyone's idea, like how you feel about guys who have matches earlier in the night and then are still in the Rumble, because that I find kind of weird. But
Well, first of all, there's a case in the men's Rumble, which that perfectly will be an example. I want to go back to your point on Shayna winning for the NXT brand. Originally, from what everything was leaked out on the internet, they kind of wanted to split this 10 and 10 Raw, 10 SmackDown, 10 NXT
Makes
on both
sense.
brands.
Right.
Shayna winning would not necessarily be a thing for her character, because I think she's done all she could do with NXT. There's no likelihood she's not going to face Ripley in a rematch for the title, since we now know that she's not facing her at TakeOver Portland. So I don't know. Maybe Vince is soured a little bit on NXT, because maybe the AEW ratings, he was thinking that possibly AEW was going to be more neck and neck, and there's weeks where AEW wins by more than 200,000 viewers, which is fine, but I think
Got that fresh squeezed juice.
Yeah,
Way
it's
off
true.
topic.
Don't even
Way
get me
off topic.
started.
Royal Rumble.
It
Royal
is,
Rumble.
it is
Bring
way
back.
off topic,
Bring
but
it
there
back.
might be a reason why NXT hasn't been as prevalent of being announced as it should and could have been.
But then again, they really shouldn't be announced. I mean, you want to announce some people to get people, running and gunning and stuff like that. That time is all over. We're not paying $45 per pay-per-view anymore. We're giving you
True.
$10 a month, and it's all coming to us free of access, at our fingertips.
True.
So the idea of announcing anybody at all is just kind of silly. I even had I used to get kind of not totally frazzled, it was kind of cool in the little backstage area things with the bingo thing, and they're all picking balls, and they're like,
slick.
I got 26, whatever, showing it up to the camera, and sometimes they would switch it and whatever, and blah, blah, blah. So that was kind of cool and silly or whatever. But the whole idea of telling us who's going to be there a month and a half in advance. I don't know when Brock Lesnar was announced. I don't give a shit. It's stupid. Get rid, bring it back to being 30 competitors. Well, who's going to be there? I don't know. Watch. It's going to be exciting.
Yeah.
Bring it back to where it was. Stop trying to change stuff.
Hard switch in subject. One of my favorite things is always not
I love macaroni and cheese.
not the person who wins, but the person who gets the most eliminations, because they're never the same.
Yeah,
Right.
true,
Yeah.
true.
So for the women's, I think Sarah Logan's going to get the most eliminations. I think they
Really?
want to give her the rub of
Okay.
being the Viking.
I like it.
And then I think Bliss is going to get the actual win.
Well, I was going to get to that, but I want to
Way to go out of order, Sean.
Now, like we said, now the men's, at least we have 2/3 of the card filled there. For the women, like we said, we have 4. If you were to add to the picture, I'm sure Mandy, Sonia, Kyrie, Natalia, Liv Morgan, who now is in a different, storyline. Here's a list of people they said could show up, and I'm guessing most of them won't, but let's see what we see. How would you feel if Paige showed up?
What?
Well, that'd be amazing, because then she's not hurt anymore.
Yeah.
Well, remember, the Rumble's a different kind of cat, though,
Yeah, but
where
still
they
gotta
could
get
take
thrown
care
all
of
the
her. She could do one move, they knock her out, she's out.
After what Triple H already said about her, I don't think she
Yeah,
wants anything
that's
to do right
probably
now.
true.
Right?
So
Anybody else?
Eh.
Not
So,
Paige?
I was never impressed when she showed up, when she was a big deal. Even when she did porn, it was sort of porn,
Aw.
whatever.
Oh.
And, the cornball lifestyle.
day.
Listen, she's banging she's banging,
Good for Brad
Brad
Maddox.
Maddox, and one of the dudes in the New Day is recording it. Yeah, that's porn.
Come on, forgive the girl.
That's amateur porn.
It's called
I
life.
think it's really
We've all
kind of
done it.
a waste of film. Never filmed it. Yeah, why
move.
watch the music video when you can come to the concert? But also, I've never been a fan of hers at all. And the actual idea of her having a biopic is so dumb.
Oh, come on.
I
so
love that movie.
dumb.
Love that movie.
It's dumb, and you're all dumb for liking
Fighting
it.
with my family.
I
Go
like
see
it.
it.
It's great. But even when I heard about that, going way the hell off topic now. But even when I heard about that, and they were like, "Hey, Paige is getting a biopic," I'm like, "Why? She's terrible. She lasted for a cup of coffee." No, her family is really big and they're awesome and whatever. I'm like, "Yeah, enjoy it. Tell me how it works out." And
Sean,
actually a good movie.
so back to mac and cheese.
So back to mac and cheese. If you sprinkle some bacon bits on top of it,
Oh,
with
that's
a
really
little
good.
salt and cayenne pepper, ooh, you'll be shitting your brains out in 20 minutes.
Here's one that might excite everyone except Sean, maybe. That's Sean. AJ Lee. I know it's a long shot,
Oh, man.
but who wouldn't be excited to watch AJ come back?
I'd see.
I'd love it.
Yawn. Wow.
Oh, thank you for that yawn. I despise her with every ounce of my soul.
God.
With every skip,
Why?
with every single skip she used to do down the runway, I wanted to trip her. I do not
why?
like her. She's terrible. She weighs 8 ounces, and how she looked up at the sky every time she spoke. Screw that.
Just because you're now in a relationship with CM Punk, and now all of a sudden, no.
Oh, please, they threw her at him to sweeten his contract deal so he would re-sign. They're like, we'll give you this
But
bubbly
she was
broad.
the whole
Would it
thing
be
that
all right?
brought Brian up. She was a part of some of the hottest angles when she was in there.
Yeah.
Okay, she's probably not showing up. Let's go.
She's terrible.
Having a Royal Rumble.
She's
Yep.
terrible.
We're having a
Argument
Rumble
at
now.
the door. Skip your argument at the door.
Okay. Let's see how Sean feels
Who else?
because
Let's go.
it's all about Sean right now.
Who knew the Rumble was going to do this to
Sean,
us?
if Nia Jax come back, are you
Right.
okay?
I have no problem with that.
Anybody else?
I mean, the rest of the internet's going to crap themselves if she ends up in the men's rumble and somebody, puts a finger on her. That's abusive towards women. No, it's not. She's wrestling 29 other dudes to try and get them over the top rope. She's in a wrestling
She's
match.
also bigger than most of them.
She is.
True.
So does anybody want to see Nia Jax against Shorty G? Because that's
I'll take
I
it
want
this
to
way.
see that under his head shot, piece with a different name. But once that name changes, I'll be all for it.
In a world where Tessa Blanchard is now the Impact Wrestling World Champion,
Yeah.
we're going to get all of it.
Not just that, but she feuded with Callahan.
Yeah, that's where she won the title from.
Yeah.
Long time.
okay. One of my favorites, I don't think she's coming back, but she has been seen at the Performance Center now,
Right.
is Ruby Riott.
Okay.
I love Ruby Riott. I'd be
Yeah.
very happy to see her in the Rumble. She wouldn't know, but I'd like to see her in the Rumble.
I think if she hadn't gotten hurt, she may have been women's champion right now.
Possible.
It's a little tough, though, because I feel like one of her roles is an ass-kicking woman who takes no shit, and that's kind of what Bayley is currently right now. And I think she's been fed to Becky at least one too many times in that whole.
She was fed to Ronda a couple of times.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would love to see Ruby Riott back, even if it's without a real Riott squad now with her.
Okay, we have Naomi. Now that the Usos are back, let's see if Naomi
like
is one of
Naomi.
the most athletic women.
I like Naomi a lot. Yeah,
So
I
do I.
think she's really good in the
Fantastic.
ring. Yeah, I liked her as champion. I didn't
Sick
like the
entrance.
belt. Yes.
And what about Tamina, who will never get any play, and I still can't figure out why.
Tamina's old school. That's why I like her. To me, she's old school. Yeah, you're right. She just, I think because of that, like, she doesn't have any, like flair, no pun intended, flair to her. Woo! There you go. So, yeah, I don't think that, like, again, I like her because of the old school mentality. Just a big, strong woman. And I'm saying, like, I'm just saying she can kick my ass easily. And, it's probably blank.
Just a card on the floor.
Oh, no, it's not blank.
I kind of feel that she's very, very middle of the road. I mean, she's not
Exactly.
bad, but she doesn't have anything that will get her any further than where she's at as to be like a bigger competitor's kind of right hand,
Yeah, the heater.
Yeah, like, somebody's muscle maybe, something like that. Definitely a great filler spot in the middle of the Rumble and stuff like that. But I don't see her as a winner, and I don't see her cutting the promos as to how great of a champion she is.
You just mentioned it perfectly. That there needs to be big women who are fillers in the Rumble who are hard to eliminate.
Of course.
And that's exactly what Tamina is.
Absolutely.
Also, she gets hurt way too much.
Yeah.
Which is why she kind of is
got,
in
like,
the role as a bodyguard.
The Ahmed Johnson issue.
And then she still gets hurt way too much, even though she makes about 12 moves a year.
So, okay, now that we're guessing
Right.
the 30 women in the Battle Royal, does anybody have a pick for a winner?
My pick is Charlotte. Runner up meaning if not Charlotte, Shayna Baszler.
Yeah. I think I can give it to Bliss. I think she's still relatively popular in the public consciousness. And I think Bliss.
And mac and cheese, what do you got?
Yeah, I'm gonna stick with what I initially said. I'm gonna go with Charlotte. I think that's a solid bet, and yeah, I like it.
My pick is Shayna. I think it's way too obvious the way it's been set up. I kind of want a one-on-one Becky Ronda match at Mania.
Oh, me too.
I kind of think that in this next 2 to 3 month period, if you can get Ronda back in the fold, this is the time to wrap up that angle or have Ronda beat Becky and then continue that angle, because that's really where this is all stemming from with Becky's character.
Sick.
So with the Women's Rumble, and maybe NXT solved this issue, even though we were good last year, though there was more NXT women in the Rumble last year. The first Rumble, what I liked was it was a lot of the old school came back. Tori Wilson, Molly Holly, Trish Stratus,
Right.
which should have happened. It was the first Women's Rumble. They deserved to be in it. Plus, I'm sure they just needed to fill in the 30, which was cool. Do you think we see anyone coming like a surprise veteran come back for the women? And do you think they need to do it? It was cool the first time. They didn't need it the second
Well,
time.
they usually do it with the men's as well.
I think that they're going to do it, but I think that they will cut down because now they do have NXT, and it is better to get them some seasoning than to just for a cheap pop.
Exactly.
I think you will see like 2 of them.
Yeah, I think so. 1 or 2.
Yeah.
I think they absolutely have to do it because that's what the Rumble's all about. On top of not knowing who's going to show up, it's also really cool looking to see people from yesteryear, semi-celebrities and stuff like that. I would have absolutely no problem with Maria Menounos showing up as one of the entrants.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That'd be
Agreed.
sick.
That would
I'll
be
take
awesome.
Mm-hmm.
And,
I'll take it.
Just in general. But I mean, like the men's Rumble has been famous for it. And there have been times where, and I'm sure everybody can agree, you're sitting there watching it, you're doing the 10-second count, and somebody shows up, and your reaction is, holy shit!
Duke the Dumpster Drosy! Oh, my God!
I mean, there have been times where people have shown up that it's just like your head explodes, and you're like, I can't believe that. And then you specifically watch them in the ring to see everything they're doing, and then all of a sudden they get eliminated, maybe before the next person, maybe 3 people later, and you're just like, damn! Man, all right, Booker T, you had a good run. That was awesome. Thanks, buddy. Like, stuff like that.
I don't know. If Charlotte wins, is it just like the safe bet? Like we were talking about. She's so talented. She never gets injured. Right. She needs something to do. Okay, we'll throw her the Royal Rumble win, and then we'll figure out something for WrestleMania for her to do. But what I really think it should win, I think they're going to actually do something, and I'm going to talk about it later because I'm going to ask you for one big spoiler, and this is going to be mine. So, okay, so now we move over to the main event.
Right.
Nice. Not WrestleMania. No.
Soon.
No,
That's
not
my podcast.
SummerSlam. It's the Royal Rumble for the men's division, and this year we know who's number 1, and it's the champion, Brock Lesnar. And this time we have at least 30 of this filled out. I'll run it down real quick in case you forgot. Brock, AJ Styles, Eric Rowan, Randy Orton, Rey Mysterio, Ricochet, Drew McIntyre, Roman Reigns, Elias, King Corbin doing double duty just as Roman Reigns is, Dolph Ziggler, Otis and Tucker, Rusev, Bobby Lashley, Aleister Black, and Buddy Murphy. Last night, Kane, Braun Strowman, and Shinsuke Nakamura came part of. Now, there is rumors that Cain Velasquez is going to be doing this because he announced it, but now they're going back and forth going, I don't know why you're announcing this.
Give up the spoilers.
Who are you?
No, that's cool.
Now, we're going to have people from NXT, and we're going to have surprises in there, and I'll go over a list that I have. But there are a few that they've built up and are now ignoring. Seth Rollins and AOP are nowhere to be mentioned after they built them up to be the Monday Night Messiah.
This may head into the whole, surprise thing. We also have one more week before the Rumble, so
Okay.
Stuff can get announced on Raw and against and NXT and SmackDown.
Anything can happen on Monday Night Raw.
Exactly. Vic Joseph, the voice of Raw.
That goes the same with Kevin Owens, Samoa Joe, and Big Show. They're all in that storyline, but they're doing nothing with them.
Well, they're recovering from the fist fight.
I guess that's it. So let's go with some surprise. And these actually have some sort of merit to them, whereas the women's ones were, wouldn't it be nice if? Everybody has heard Booker T is training for a Harlem Heat revival storyline, but it looks like that's not going to happen.
Right.
So Booker T posted Rumble ready on his Instagram. How are we feeling about Booker T coming down?
I'm all about it. I think that's a great idea. I just hope he lasts longer than he did, when he came back after his TNA run, which was the 40-man. I think that was
Yeah, because he went to
2000.
Nexus.
Yeah. He came in, got his old spinneroonie, and got clothesline right out of the ring, and it was just kind of like, well, that was a snub, damn it. But yeah, I'd be for it if he shows up. That'd be awesome.
Booker T's awesome. 2-time WWE Hall of Famer, multi-time tag team champion, and Booker T, one of the most entertaining. Actually, I wish he would come in as King Booker. That would be better. Against Corbin in the Rumble.
Oh, King versus King match. Now we're talking. Here we go. Because it's in Houston. It's in Texas.
Yes.
You've got the trifecta of Stone Cold, The Undertaker, Shawn Michaels.
Right.
Although Shawn Michaels now pretty much lives in
Terry Funk's always down to work.
He's retired 9 times.
Yep.
Oh my God, the man will turn to dust if you hit him one more time.
Booker T's from Houston, by the way. So
Yeah,
I
there
think
you go.
He's definitely
Good
gonna
call.
be there.
So anybody think any of those have a shot at coming back?
Taker, yes. Austin, no. Who's the third? Oh, Shawn Michaels.
Shawn.
Definitely not.
I don't know because Shawn's scheduled to be at the Garden March 22nd at a house show because they're promoting DX is coming
Uh-oh.
back.
You know what would actually be really, really funny is if Austin did show up in the Rumble and then won it and then became a 4-time Royal Rumble
That'd be
winner
awesome.
and nobody could even ever remotely come close.
No,
They
no.
could. It would just take a while. But if he became 4-time Rumble champion, that would just be ridiculous.
Just as a podcast in the middle of the ring.
I want him
Yeah,
to do it while
absolutely.
holding a beer, giving only stomach.
I'm saying, stun the crap out of everybody and just pop him out of the ring.
And then
Let's
Vince
do
would
it.
come out and go, Austin, no!
You
ruined it.
Vince,
You
Vince
ruined
kind
it.
of finally dies because he's 130, and it's just the way it is.
Now, here's one I'd be thrilled to have come back, but again, I would rather they stay healthy than go back in the ring for one more shot of glory. Edge is rumored to be
was just
coming
thinking
back
of
to
that.
the Rumble.
Yeah.
Like,
You know,
dude, you broke your neck. They told you to stop. You're living the good life. Knock it off.
He has the same injury as Paige, or I should say Paige has the same injury as him.
Yeah.
But when, this whole thing, all because he delivered one spear at SummerSlam.
Well, he delivered a lot of spears over his life. He started really young, and I mean, those TLC matches.
oh, forget about it. Just the first one against the Hardys is going to cut your career short.
Yeah.
So, it was fantastic, though.
Now, getting to the biggest rumor, and let's face it, we would want it to happen. It's not going to happen.
Right.
CM Punk shows up.
Okay, I got it, because I've been talking about this at work so much. Everyone keeps
Go
asking
ahead.
me about Punk. So, I don't think he's going to be in the Rumble. I don't think he's going to be at Mania. I don't think he's stepping back in the ring. Here's the thing. Whether you want to believe it or not, whatever they say, I have no choice, but I feel I have to listen to. Punk works for Fox. He doesn't work for WWE.
Correct.
So, if he shows up, don't get me wrong, it'd be awesome. But I 100% feel he's not coming back in the ring. I still think he has a lot of ill will against WWE. And
Why would that be?
I don't know. I think something to do with his back
he
or neck.
said something about if I got a big bag of money. No, I believe he has shut the
Wow.
door on it. But again,
Give me $1 million
never
bucks, I'll take a punch
say
from Tyson.
never. Right, if you give him enough money.
I'm gonna just start off by saying screw CM Punk. He's a crybaby little bitch, and that's that. Basically, it was the Rumble. You can say anything you want. I'll contest right back to you. Let's go. It was the Rumble that he took his ball and went home. He took his ball and left.
Yes.
He just didn't care, wasn't re-signing his contract, got mad, pissed off, and dipped. And the entire crowd still cheers for him. That's like getting slapped by a boyfriend and bringing it and going right back to him. You're in an
That
abusive
happens.
relationship with a top dog. What do you got?
Homeboy almost died from
Yeah,
a
a lot of
staph
people almost
infection.
died. Guess what?
No,
You know,
staph infection from negligence on the company's part.
Okay, we're not going back to that. There are lawsuits. We're staying
all
out of
the
that.
intricate little internet things that you heard from whatever, blah blah blah. This, that,
It's
the
public
third.
knowledge. It's
Okay, we're done.
lawsuit.
Went and dealt with staph infections. Kevin Nash and The Undertaker used to sit backstage and squeeze their staph infections to see how far the shit would go. So So screw CM Punk and let's move on.
Okay, one who I would absolutely love to come back, and he has stated he wants to team with his old tag team partner, who is doing something else right now, but I don't care. I want to see the Cowboy James Storm come back. I want beer money.
Bring beer money to the WWE, please. That would be
sick.
amazing.
Beer Money was one of the few things I truly loved about TNA. Beer Money, and even when they were champions, Storm was champion for like a week, but when Storm and Rude were world champion and just Beer Money themselves, I'm in on that one.
Bobby Roode as a heel at TNA, money. Robert Roode as a heel in WWE, awful.
Yeah, well,
It was awesome in NXT.
NXT, yeah.
that's the other problem is, like, you know, they kind of ran with exactly what he was doing in Impact, which actually he's the longest running TNA champion of all time.
Yep.
And that record can't be broken because TNA doesn't exist anymore.
Coming back for one day.
Huh?
At WrestleCade, TNA is coming back.
Okay.
Still can't break that record in one day.
I just you know, and I do agree that, you know, they took the same exact character he was in TNA and they moved him to NXT and it was great, and then they brought him up to the main roster and they sugarcoated the crap out of him and now it sucks. I would love to see Beer Money as a cohesive tag team doing exactly the same thing they were doing 10 years ago. I think that would be great.
Awesome.
And if James Storm does appear in the Rumble, that would be really cool too.
What if we got the Motor City Machine Guns?
Well, actually,
we got time splitters.
Chris Sabin's knees are so destroyed that I don't think he wrestles anymore.
Yeah.
But Alex Shelley, I heard
Alex Shelley was just in NXT.
reformed,
Yup.
Time Splitters
Yes.
with Kushida, which is one of the greatest tag teams that New Japan has pushed out in the past 20 years.
Yeah.
So now we have to work on NXT. Do we get like a group? Do they bring in the Undisputed Era, Matt Riddle, Walter? Does Finn Balor come back? And the man that they keep pushing, and he deserves it, is Keith Lee.
Right.
Lee should be in the Rumble, although he's going to get eliminated, and that could put a little bit of damper on it. The only way you can get Lee to look better than Survivor, I don't think you can get Lee to look better in a loss than you did at Survivor Series. One name that I would keep an eye on that will get a huge pop if he gets into the Rumble is, and I know he's still technically injured, is Velveteen Dream.
Yes.
Yeah, Velveteen
That's-
Dream would be
Yep,
sick.
yep.
The one thing I forget about, and it is NXT UK is sick.
Oh.
When you said Walter, I was like,
Yes.
oh my god, it'd be just awesome to have Walter and Pete Dunne running around wrecking people's days. Not just, they don't have to win the Rumble, but just give everybody a really bad time.
Period.
You see, what I think would actually be really cool, and just, you know, going back to, again, the same Royal Rumble, the 40-man, was we could bring the Undisputed Era the same way they brought in the basic, what was it?
Nexus?
Yes, the way they brought the Nexus in. Instead of having Punk, just wrecking people left and right, bring Adam Cole in. Let him just go back and forth. And then all of a sudden, one of the Red Dragon comes through. And now it's two of them. And then all of a sudden, everybody's together. And then, we don't have Cena anymore, but you get some big dog to, just slap the crap out of him, throw him out of the ring, and be like, yeah, welcome to the big leagues, guys. See you later. And, and then just keep pushing forward. But I think that would be really cool to watch the Undisputed Era run roughshod for about 10 minutes. Just give us that.
What's going to be very interesting is Worlds Collide is happening the night before NXT versus NXT UK.
Yeah.
For two reasons it's interesting. Number one, I feel like NXT, just like Survivor Series, are the hardest working people on the roster now, propping up both shows with big names. And number two, the one other interesting thing is, and just a small off topic, is this is the first NXT that doesn't have a legitimate takeover before a Big Five pay-per-view, which I'm a little surprised about. So we'll see how that works out with the whole NXT Royal Rumble connection, because I think they're going to have a big impact at Rumble.
They're probably doing the Worlds Collide to get the UK guys over here, and then have some of them in the Rumble.
Yeah.
Okay. Guys, then that means it's time to pick your winner for the Men's Royal Rumble. Steve?
God. I think the obvious road is the easiest road to go down because of all the stuff that's happened. I think Roman is going to win this Rumble because...
But should he?
No, I don't think he should at all. I think I want AJ to win this Rumble. You realize, by the way, this is the first time AJ has wrestled in a Rumble since his debut. Yeah, he's been in 4 years of title matches. I want AJ in a big match at Mania.
I actually think, since we just brought it up, I think they may give it to Adam Cole and really do something crazy with the NXT crowd. Or somebody from the Undisputed Era, because I think it's hot enough where they can do something crazy with it after Survivor Series.
And should he win?
Oh, hell yeah.
Okay, so you think he will be the winner and he should be the winner?
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with Ricochet.
Ooh.
Yes!
I'm gonna say Ricochet is going to win, and 2020 is gonna be a really big year for him.
I hope so.
Yeah. I don't know why, but I think it's time.
Okay, that's who you think should win?
Do I think he deserves it? Absolutely.
So you think he will win?
Yes.
You think he will win and he should win?
Yes.
That was my actual choice, but I didn't want to be that hopeful.
Yes. No, I'm hopeful as hell with every Rumble.
I'm still surprised you didn't choose Asuka, but still. She's the best.
Who do I think should win? Again, I'm going to probably venture to one of the other mics, so I'm a little far away. If King Corbin walks out the winner of the Royal Rumble,
we all riot.
I would not be bothered. I would not be bothered.
There's been a lot of supposed Will riots, over the past couple of recent years. So, we could get a riot on that. Why not? I'm down.
Who I think is going to win, the reason why he's number one, the reason why he's WWE champion, and the reason why hopefully he's going to make me some money is Brock Lesnar, because I think
Lesnar going from 1 to 3.
He's going coast to coast because I think they need someone new to win at the number one spot. So when they promote multiple number one winners, there's one guy they're never going to mention again who won from the number one spot.
The Royal Rumble that time forgot, Chris Benoit.
Exactly.
So I think the Royal... Yeah, exactly.
That's right.
I honestly think that's a terrible idea because they're taking away... a lot of different achievements from different people. That totally squashes out Rey Mysterio being the longest. That will more than likely squash out Roman Reigns having most eliminations during a match. And it just gives it to somebody who doesn't care. He doesn't like us. All he cares about is the zeros in his bank account. He doesn't care about us, guys. It's freaking pointless to give him these achievements and all these accolades for somebody who doesn't care.
Now,
why?
At the same time, though, the way you're getting all worked up, which is great. I love the passion.
Totally, yeah.
That's a reason why to make him win. Why he beat The Undertaker, why he broke the streak.
That's fine. You want to give him all the WrestleMania accolades in the world, that's fine. Hey, he was the one to beat the streak. He did that, he did this. But you can't give him everything in the free world. So he's taken WrestleMania. Now you're going to give him the Rumble. The next thing that's going to happen is he's going to somehow miraculously eliminate everybody on a Survivor Series list, and now he's got that too. What are you going to do?
That's a good booking idea. We're going to
give him every single thing in the big deal that when you go through like the history of who had the longest run? Who beat The Undertaker? Brock Lesnar. Who had the longest run in the Rumble? Brock Lesnar. Who held the title for the Brock Lesnar?
Bugs Bunny.
It's too ridiculous for somebody who does not give a crap about what he's doing and only shows up when the dollars are in his hand.
He doesn't give a crap, but this is all to set up who his WrestleMania opponent is. And for the love of God, if it's someone like Cain Velasquez, I swear to God, the WWE just has... They have sometimes this, tunnel vision. And you want them to make a little bit of a left turn, a little bit of a right turn, and I just don't think they
You also got to realize that they're running out of a lot of Latino talent. And they need that is a huge demographic for the WWE, and they need somebody to stand behind. So if they gave it to Cain Velasquez, that would be totally believable.
What do you think Andrade proposed to Charlotte? That's his foot. He may win the Rumble now.
He won something. I don't know.
Just real quick to talk about the tunnel vision. I've seen it. and again, I'm not saying this, hey, look how cool I am. One of my best friends, my co-host on the Retro Gamers podcast, worked on the writing team for a year and a half with WWE, like around WrestleMania 30, 31, in between that time. And even recently, when I saw him talking to a friend of his who is currently on the writing team, the frustration that they have with some of the things that they want to do, but it ultimately boils down to Vince McMahon, which I get, I understand, and that's fine. So sometimes it's just weird how it's going to...
Well, that's why I'm going to marry exactly what you said and what Sean said, which is, yes, this is his job, this is his angle. I don't care. It's just as much money as I have versus Vince McMahon is still running things, which means I think Roman Reigns is going to win because Vince likes it. Now, I want to go to predictions. What you would like, a big bomb that you think would happen. Like, I'm thinking, even though I said Roman Reigns is probably going to win, who I'd like to win would be Brock Lesnar going 1-30, and not because it means he's going to rewrite the record book.
No, sure.
I really couldn't give a damn. But I think it would be really cool to see WrestleMania champion versus champion, The Fiend versus Brock Lesnar. And now let's see what the writing team has to come up
That'd
with.
be interesting. I mean, when I said, to rewrite history, a little bit of tongue-in-cheek in that. I think they want Brock to go coast to coast because he's Brock Lesnar. He's been back for 8 years. He hasn't won a Rumble yet. I'm actually kind of shocked he hasn't won a Rumble
He's only
yet.
been in one.
So, but he's been in 2 in total. So that's the whole thing.
He won
the one he was in.
The one he was originally in, but on his return, he was in one Rumble so far.
Here's the thing, real quick, with Brock Lesnar though, what I'd be worried about, like I don't want to see guy come in, get eliminated, guy come in, get eliminated, guy come in, get eliminated.
Right.
F5.
Yeah. So unless like Goldberg shows up, surprising and eliminates Brock, I don't know.
So just to clarify the question, big surprises. I kind of have an indie smart thing I'd like to see of just. I always love it when they do bring out the James Storms and stuff. Yeah. I think there's a lot of indie women. Specifically, who's the trainer down there now? What's her name?
Yep.
Oh, no.
Sarah
Del Rey?
Sarah Del Rey.
Yes.
I'd like to see Sarah Del Rey actually get highlighted. Lufisto wants to retire. There's a lot of indie women I'd like to see just get a quick shine.
Yeah, that'd be cool. That'd be interesting.
First of all, if Brock goes coast to coast to the Rumble, that means he's worked probably longer in this match than he probably has for most of his WWE career.
True.
The one thing I would like to see at this Rumble, I would like to see who wins if it's not Roman or Brock. I would like to see somebody different. I would like to see someone like a Ricochet win the Rumble.
Yeah.
I want AJ Styles to win the Rumble. I know he's a little bit more of a name, but I would like to see somebody who is not in that first tier kind of get a star-making performance at the Rumble. Will it happen? Probably not. But that's what I would like to see. My big prediction, if that would happen.
Well, that was like, when I think it was like 4 years ago, something like that. And, the last two were Dean and Triple H.
Oh, yeah.
And we're all looking at it like, holy, what,
And it was
Dean
for the
might
title.
win? And then all of a sudden, Triple H just put his head and was like, whoop,
Was
dropped
that the
him off
night
the
after
ropes.
he wrestled that match with Kevin Owens? I think it was,
yeah.
too.
Probably. And it was for the title. That was when.
And it was for the title.
Yeah, Roman defended the title. Just to be fair, if Brock goes coast to coast and he eliminates everyone immediately, he'd only be in for 45 minutes.
Well,
so,
yeah, that's true.
Still more! Still more!
So it'll
Ray
still
is safe.
have, it'll still be there.
But would we get a Brock party out of it?
Wow.
Come on.
So.
Yeah, I wish somebody would just drop a bomb on Suplex City already and just erase it from the map, but that's just me.
A big surprise would be like a Shawn Michaels, like a DX Shawn Michaels, a bald Shawn Michaels. I think also a big surprise would be NXT winning. It doesn't matter who it is. NXT winning the men's Rumble, I think would be huge. I think it would be awesome. I would hope an NXT superstar wins, but
Anybody in particular?
well, either Adam Cole. No, actually no, because he's champion. I wouldn't want to see like the world champion. Velveteen Dream not winning, but at least being in it. But to win it, oh god, the way Keith Lee went up against Roman at Survivor Series and held his own.
Yeah.
That could
Eric
be one
Young.
thing. Yeah.
No. That would be pretty cool, but that will never happen.
The entirety of his faction got jobbed out by the goddamn Miz.
What about the
That
bro?
sounds about right. Thank you, Vince.
Little Matt Riddle action at the Rumble.
Hey,
Down in
Daddy,
the
bro
Rumble.
code.
Sick.
I would just feel really nervous that somebody would break one of his toes. That dude needs to put some shoes on, man. Straight up, especially in a Rumble.
He's not the first one to wrestle.
No, I know.
Dark Horse, Mojo
that's
Rawley
always-
takes everything.
This is why I write things down.
No, Eric Rowan's pet takes everything.
Oh, yeah. Oh, now he's biting everybody. This is why I write things down, because I'm talking to you guys and I forget what I want to talk about. Drew McIntyre.
Oh, yeah.
Drew
What about him?
McIntyre, I think, should win the Rumble.
Oh, you're wrong, but that's okay.
Absolutely.
Wow.
I think he
There
should
we
win the
go.
Rumble.
What's your problem with Drew McIntyre?
I can't think of a more boring, less charismatic.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Oh, man, you sure you didn't spell CM Punk wrong? Like, really, dude.
This is
Like,
not
I'm
Like
sorry,
Drew?
Punk can cut a
Boring?
promo.
Oh, man, so could Drew.
No, he can't.
Not in the WWE, maybe, but if you watched him on the indie scene.
But we're talking about the WWE, and Punk cut good promos in the WWE.
Wait,
Fight is going to break out today at some
you
point.
think Baron Corbin is more charismatic than
Then
Drew
Drew
McIntyre?
Really?
Let me think.
His crown is more has more charisma.
Yes.
Wow.
It's only
bold statement.
It's because McIntyre doesn't get hit with light tubes every night. That's why Sean Law's not crazy.
Yes. Facts. Listen, I have deathmatch wrestlers on my battle jacket. I really can't deny that.
Okay, before another battle royal breaks out here, the only other prediction I thought of, and I would love to see it, but I don't think it's going to happen because it would involve Ronda Rousey coming back,
Right.
and that would be if Becky ends up facing Shayna Baszler because she will win
Right.
the Royal Rumble, and then somehow it turns it. Of course, she's going to bring Baszler's going to bring her back up,
Right.
and prompting Becky to bring Charlotte.
I'm begging for horsewomen versus
Exactly, and it'll be
horsewomen.
horsewomen versus horsewomen,
Okay.
which may happen sometime in the future.
Right.
I thought it would go to that, but I don't think it's going to.
Finally, my fan fiction will be real.
Yeah, no. No, because Shafir and Duke are horrible in the ring. That's why they haven't actually wrestled in a televised match on NXT.
True, and they're not most polished, but still, I think they can make up for it if it was 4-on-4.
Yeah.
You can at least make it an elimination match.
So we're going to find out if our predictions are true on January 26th when the Royal Rumble 2020 comes to us. We're going to say goodbye right now, everybody. I want to thank you for coming in. Steve, got anything to plug?
No.
I'm nothing at all. Steve just came in to have some fun. Sean, the long arm of the law. Thank you.
Thank you.
Do you have anything to plug?
I got to plug in my vacuum.
And wait, I would like to make the plug for him. He is the head of the Asuka fan division on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter.
Sign me
So go get him. Larry, thank you for coming in. Plug
Thank you
away.
very much. Oh, gosh. The Retro Gamers podcast, the Better Half podcast, talking more wrestling. And again, on the Talking More Wrestling Facebook page or YouTube page, but stay tuned. I'll figure out which one.
May I just cut you off? Maybe you want to spell more so that they know exactly what it is.
MOHR. Not J Moore, but spelled like J Moore. Talking More Wrestling, MOHR. And Sunday, April 5th, WrestleMania Sunday, I will be live with my Talking More Wrestling podcast from my WrestleMania party in Brooklyn. It's going to be a real good time. We're just going to have fun talking about the matches. Maybe I'll try and call a match. Who knows? But it's just going to be fun and enjoyable. So definitely tune in April 5.
So if you try to call a match, will it sound like this when we talk about something CM Punk related between those?
Oh, there'll be a fight will break out at the
Get the words
VFW.
out.
Absolutely.
Throwing elbows and everything.
And my buddy, thanks,
And,
Sean Radford.
Yes, I would just like to promote the show that we do once a week, live on Wednesdays on Facebook Live, is Circling the Drain podcast. It's a gigantic comedy show about nothing, and we have so much fun doing it, and people seem to laugh about it. We have a group page on YouTube, which is called YouTube Jackass. We have a group page on Facebook.
And a Groupon for mac and cheese.
Called The Drain, oh my goodness, the Circling the Drain podcast fan page. We also do have a YouTube page, which is Circling the Drain podcast, and we got a couple other places, and we download the crap, you can download the crap out of it anywhere and everywhere, and all those places are located where he would have read the list had we been doing our actual show.
iTunes,
but the way
Spotify, Anchors,
we're there.
Breaker,
We're over
Google.
there. So basically, go on a downloadable site, type in our name, and if we pop up, download it.
Circling the Drain
Circling the
podcast.
Drain podcast. Thank you.
And
Leave out the thank you.
That's
But
where you're going to see us promote this show.
Yes.
The Ring Crew. It's also going to be on
Talking More Wrestling, MOHR.
and on Sean's Vacuum and
Whatever I want it to be on.
the Pickle Barrel for
Barrel.
So we want to thank you. We will be back to promote WrestleMania in a few months.
And the Strobe Lights pay-per-view that Sean.
Yes.
Epilepsy 2020!